What is automation and what is AI?
Automation is predictable. So say, for example, if you're running a test and if this test has 5 outcomes.
So how is Australia in the AI advancement right now? Is it adopting faster?
I think Australia is always behind when it comes to technology because we look up to our big brother, which is US, and see what's happening in US.
But what's security in AI?
One of the security in AI is what is the access you
Hi, welcome to another episode of Inspire from Reality. At Inspire from Reality, as we promised, we bring the real stories. Behind every perfect smile, there are scars, there are wins, there are achievements, there are struggles. And we bring those perfect stories for this perfect person that we always have here. Today, as guest, we have Gunjan Khamar. He is the founder of Hire AI Employee. Does this sound good? Yes. So he combines AI and human capability to help businesses to scale. And he brings that human factor which is missing with the AI. He helps to reduce the cost. He helps to scale the business. And he is going wide and long on this particular section and educating people how to use this particular AI employee in your business. Let's discuss more about why he started this, where he thought about AI, what was he doing before AI even existed, and how he is emerging into this new trend. What is he seeing as trend in the future? Let's welcome Gunjan. Hi, Gunjan.
Thank you. Hi. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being a guest today here. Okay, Gunjan, before we start any story, we always ask about, we have this as our mantra that everybody's past is what it makes you today. So let's start about very start. Explain how was Gunjan childhood, growing up, what's your first job, why you decided to start a business and all these things.
Of course, I'm from India. My first job, I'm from a city called Ahmedabad, which is in Gujarat. I'm Gujarati. My first job was as a IT technician. This is when I lived in Mumbai. And I worked in HCL, great company, great memories. And after 1.5 years of working there, I actually also got a check from the company, which I didn't expect. And I'm thinking, wow, this is great. I migrated to Australia in 2006 as a student. And I studied IT here. I've worked in IT almost all my life as system engineers, and that's where our idea of AI and IT comes in. And now that we got interested in AI around 2022, we realized there's just so much potential. So we want to explore AI, but at the same time, AI is oversold and it sometimes gets sold in a way where it shouldn't be. Like we are trying to remove the human out of the equation. And we've seen it fail. A lot of companies went crazy with AI and then they had to push back. So I think we're sort of trying to see where we can balance it and, not overselling AI, but more of using automation / AI.
Right. Since you told two things in one sentence, automation and AI, the biggest thing that I see people are confused is they think automation is AI is automation. But there is a very thin difference between them. And once the person knows the difference, the businesses particularly knows the difference, they know what to employ, what to implement, and how to combine them. Would you please like to tell our audience today, this question has been asked to me so many times. What is automation and what is AI?
Automation is predictable. So say, for example, if you're running a test, and if this test has 5 outcomes, in automation, you have to set up all those 5 outcomes. And anything that doesn't match that outcome goes to an exception. With AI, what happens is there's a brain that decides what happens. So you need one input, one output, because in the middle, you have this AI that can understand what's your query, and then it can react to that query. In automation, it's more of a rule-based thing. And in AI, you can sort of bend the rules because this is a thinking mechanism that can react to it.
Oh, wow. That is a great explanation. Like AI automation is exactly like you want to do this and this is the result or this is not the result. That's when it's simple process, automate it, and it becomes easier for small industries to automate a lot of things. Just like your reviews, your invoicing. There is a lot of things that can be automated, and your emails. But AI is when you need a decision. Like if this is something, then how do the business react to it, right? Yeah, that's a great one. So tell me one thing. What is AI employee?
Think of it like this: if you're running a real estate agency, you have somebody that comes into your company, a newbie, and then he starts as a receptionist, and then as the time goes, this receptionist, which is a human employee, starts to take up other work, property management, property sales, and all that. AI employee is basically an employee that we have created using an automation and AI that can take certain decisions for you, but it is not automated. It still comes back to the human. There is a mechanism that we can use using AI systems out in the world where it can react like human, it can respond like human, but it's not a human.
Since we're talking about employees and AI, so there is one question that I really want to discuss, and I discuss this with so often in the industry: is AI going to take the jobs of the people? Is the human, or have you seen? So two questions now. Say one is the teching going to take the jobs, and the other is, have you seen AI fail and human intelligence has come up and overcome their situation, something like that?
Your question is, will AI take over all the jobs?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Do you see anyone today that doesn't have a mobile?
No.
Do you see anyone that doesn't know how to use a computer?
No.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. Humans have survived because they evolve. And AI is a new challenge that we have. So the only people that going to lose their job are the ones who are not going to start using AI to do their job.
Yes, this has been constantly told over and over again that it's the time when you need to use AI, and learning AI from YouTube and using it for the business and going through that churn of failures and blaming AI is something which is always happening in the industry. That's why we have experts like Gunjan and people that's already implemented thing and they know exactly how to use AI for your business. Now tell me, when has AI failed and human intelligence have helped for failure of AI, or something where AI has not worked the way it should? Has it ever happened? Or
It's always happened. Because one thing we need to understand is AI is still taking its baby step. It's not, it's like a 3-year-old child. It's still learning. I think what you need to understand is what's going to happen of AI in, say, 5 years, 10 years' time. AI actually, I don't need to give big examples, but there are times where people are chatting with ChatGPT and then they realize the answer that ChatGPT gives is wrong. Like that is a prime example of where AI fails. Like I was talking to AI about, when's the first match that was played by Indian women's cricket and what happened in the match. And AI said, oh, the first match was in 1978 or something, and then they won. And then I said, did they really win the match? And AI is like, actually, no, sorry, they didn't. So I think AI, the problem with AI is any AI platform that we talk about today hallucinates from 0.7% to 1.4%. And to give you an example, if you're running 1 million transaction, that means 7,000 to 14,000 transactions are not doing well. The problem is you don't know which 7,000. So AI fails, and if AI fails a lot of time, that is why we have something called human in the loop, which checks what AI is doing. So don't use AI as an authority, use AI as an assistant.
Yep.
And keep a human to check the work of AI.
Oh, yes, that's what I even say. In marketing, people always say it's best to use AI. We use AI, but it is always human who is checking them, who is responsible for putting that input, and that input is coming from the person who has worked in marketing for so long. Let's say SEO keywords. The person who is putting the input is not today. He has worked for 6 years without AI. So they exactly know what input to give to get the exact output. If today I don't know marketing at all, I'll say, give me 5 keywords for beauty salon. It's not going to work. There is thousands of other things that you do before you reach that step. Exactly, I 100% agree with that. Tell me, Gunjan, I know we're talking a lot about AI, so let's take a little break from AI and talk about how is the human emotions getting affected with the newer generation using AIs and all this. Do you feel that they're more disconnected the way we grew up? And I'm not saying about only playing games or something, but asking ChatGPT for all the answers without even opening up or doing some deep down research or something. Is it affecting their human intelligence?
It's a great question. When you have information at the palm of your fingertips, you don't need to learn too much. And that sometimes makes you stupid because now you can just go and ask somebody. It's like, teaching somebody to fish and then giving them a fish. So when a newer generation or even us, we just able to jump online to AI and ask a question and get an answer, we don't have the need of that deeper knowledge. And what that means is we probably gonna go keep getting dumber and dumber. This is exactly what we say, right? When the phones came around, we used phones to make calls, receive calls, SMS. Now that's the least thing that happens on the phone.
Yes.
So that the phones are getting smarter, people are getting dumber. So you sort of need to use AI wisely because there's plenty of information out there. But the problem with AI as well is it's learning from the data that's available on internet, and not all the data on internet is correct.
I agree with that. I sometimes feel like, I'm not using to best to my calibrities now. I am doing grammatical wrongs because I think like ChatGPT is going to correct it for me. I'll just put anything any way I want and then I put it, and you have told me so many times that because it just comes up, just type it down, it will correct it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to start an AI as a business today, to be an AI expert, to help other businesses, what should be the things that they should start with, and how should they groom themselves to be a AI, to give AI as a service to other? And AI is a vast thing, so to start even thinking about putting it as a service, what should be the first step they should do?
If someone's starting an AI business,
Yeah.
I think the first thing they should do is throw AI in the bin. And let me explain why I'm saying that is it doesn't matter if you're using AI, you're using automation or anything. What does the customer want? What's the ROI they are getting? It doesn't matter for a customer. Yes, they might get excited with the thought of AI, but are they actually getting an ROI? Because customer doesn't really care, if you're doing SEO to get customers or you're doing paid ads. Customer cares that they are getting customers.
Yep.
So if someone is starting a business about AI, great, go ahead and start it. But AI is not going to sell itself unless there is an ROI for a customer. So forget about all the hype about AI. Focus on, is this actually solving my customer's problem? Because sometimes we overcomplicate things using AI. Sometimes they just need automation.
Wow. This is a very simple thing that you explained, and I really love this one about you, Gunjan, that you explain so simplicity that if any business you're starting, the first thing is it solving any problem is it giving a solution to the customer, and as the customer getting their ROI from it, and even with AI, that's great. That's great one. And how is everything going on in AI industry? I see you attending a lot of. So how is Australia in AI advancement right now? Is it adopting faster? I see, or is it still growing its own slow pace? What's happening in the world with AI? What's trending?
I think Australia is always behind when it comes to technology because we look up to our big brother, which is US, and see what's happening in US. And it's a good thing, to be honest. It's a very cautious approach because the business in Australia are actually waiting so that AI actually matures at certain point, and then sort of implementing it. At the same time, we also have to keep in mind that there is a big difference in the economy and the size of businesses we have. Majority of businesses we have are small and micro businesses, which borderline need AI, but they don't need a huge push in AI at the moment. So there's a lot of waiting game, and rightly so. I mean, you want to see AI get mature before you put it into your business and use production slash live data.
Correct, correct. Yeah, 100%. Like, and we have been always, Australia has been always cautious about its growth. I won't say growth, about adapting to the new growth that's happening. So let's say tomorrow you AI does your 90% work. What would you do with the free time?
Farming. I'll grow farm, but even in that, we'll have AI.
Yes. AI is telling you what seeds would go great here and all these
Exactly.
things, right? Yeah, why farming? Why? What made you think about farming?
I think the longer you stay in IT, the more you wanna throw away the laptop and just live in a farm.
That's true. God, yeah. So today, if a business want to implement AI, what should be the first step to do? I know they should come and talk to a person like you who would do an investigation, would give them audit AI audit report and everything. But even before, how do they find you and or people like you who can help them? What should be the first step, and do they need a huge budget? Like, explain a bit about a business wanting to do, what kind of budget they're looking for, what kind of scenario they should start with, how do they reach people like you who can help them to audit and give them a report, what all automation or AI they can implement.
If a business want to implement AI, they really not need to understand what are they looking for, like what is the end goal. Because once it's great to talk about AI and think about AI and implementing in a business, but what's your ROI? What is exactly the result you're trying to achieve from point A to point B? So once you break down what the business wants to achieve, it becomes clear what sort of AI is needed. Like sometimes, for example, a retail business like dentist or medical center or anything, they probably just need their front person to have time to breathe, and they need receptionist. They probably don't need anything else in the back end right now. But say for example, you're talking about business that processes a lot of invoices and codes, and then they don't need the receptionist. They need somebody in the back end, an AI agent that's looking at codes and processing them and putting them in the system, because AI can connect with multiple system and put stuff around. So it really needs to be broken down on what customer wants to achieve, and then you reverse engineer from that.
The processes should be in the place for anyone to understand what can we automate and what can we do the AI. Interesting. The processes has to be in great place. So let's say today, what kind of budget are we looking for?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Because everybody is budget cautious with the whatever is happening in the world with inflation and everything happening. Every business is budget cautious. So what kind of budget are we looking for a, I won't say very small industry, but for a mid to large scale industry?
Let me answer this question this way. The budget really depends on what you're getting. Um, Say, for example, if you're getting an AI receptionist, and a human receptionist is gonna cost you 60,000, how much is an AI receptionist worth? Is she worth 5,000, 10,000, 15,000? I know human receptionists can do a lot more than just take calls, but I think you really need to. The answer should be what you're trying to achieve. Like, is the receptionist just going to answer the calls, or is it gonna connect with your system, take bookings, cancel bookings, do cold calling and whatnot? But majority of businesses we have in Australia, if they invest 5,000 or less
Yep.
in their business, they will be they can start AI
Start
journey.
somewhere. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for this AI receptionist, I know you have done such a great job. We work so much on AI receptionist. So for AI receptionist, there is one point which I always feel I wanted to ask you. How does so let's say I had three receptionists. Now, all those three receptionists with the AI receptionist, how does this work? So let's say there is one receptionist. Forget. There's a dentist. They have a one receptionist there, and obviously the receptionist and dentist is the huge busy because that takes so long for them to understand what the client is. Sorry, whoever is there to put everything together. Then the call is always on hold. It's a chaos. So how does just explain that scenario to my client, to my audience?
So what you can do, say for example, if you're running a clinic with 3 or 4 receptionists and you're very busy in the clinic, um, you want the human to pick up the phone first, of course, but then there are times when you can't. This is where you can overflow a call to an AI receptionist if it is not answered, say in 20 seconds, because then you're not losing that call. Customers being taken care of because and your receptionists are not overwhelmed. The beauty about AI receptionist is it can scale. You give it permission to manage 5 calls at a time or 5,000 calls at a time. It can. It's not limited
Wow, yay.
by human capacity. So let me give you example. Say for example, if there is a call center, okay. Now this call center has 5 people on the floor who can take calls, and they have 20 calls on the floor on coming in the queue. Now what's going to happen is these 5 people have capacity. They can only take 5 calls at a time.
Yep.
So those 15 peoples that are on the queue will have to wait till one of them gets free.
Correct.
With AI, I can spin up 15 more AI agents at the same time, and these calls can be answered within seconds. And then if customer says, okay, I want to speak to a human because you can't solve my problem, then the call can be forwarded to an AI, a human agent. It's very similar to when we started seeing in Coles and Woolworths the self checkouts. You still have option to go to self checkout, or you can go to a human checkout, but there's a little bit of waiting.
And if the service checkout fails, the human is there to help you.
Exactly.
And these days, the AI receptionist helps us a lot when you are giving a call for, let's say, flight checkup, flight delay, child Centrelink, ATO, everywhere, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's I am really interested in AI receptionist these days, where too many clients of mine is inquiring about it. You go big on construction industry. Why so?
I think construction industry has a lot of back office work. And one of the things we want to focus on in AI is, be industry focused. They have a lot of invoices, they have a lot of codes, they have a lot of checkups where they have to do. I think when a building is being made, I think there are anywhere from 30 to 50 trades that walk into that building. So along with everything, there is a lot of back office work that happens in construction. And what we specialize on is, improving the back office and back end solutions using automations and AI. So with the challenge of building 1.2 million houses in next 5 years because of the housing crisis, there's just so much work that's going to happen in construction. So that's one of our very focused area.
Yes. Yeah, you are right. I never thought of it like that. They have so much of work in the back office that has to be done. And if they can implement one or two AI modules, it's not about freeing the people, but it's also optimizing other people, human beings to the maximum scale without burning out. It was a good one. So tell me, what would be your advice to the younger, to the people, not the younger generation, we have already spoken about it, about the businesses. And we can close the quote on that. What would be your one advice to start doing right away to be more effective, humanized effective in their business?
Rather than, getting
Tools
overwhelmed by
and all.
AI. So there is, once you start a project with AI, you can, be chasing shiny objects like I want to do this and I want to do this. And start with a scope on what you want to do in your business with AI. And then once you are through that, then maybe change something. And look at, early wins that you can get. Like you can do a big project in AI that might take you 6 months, or you can do a project which might be done in 2 weeks, 1 month, and it will give you like that early head up. So focus on that one problem or two problems that's gonna give you 30, 40, 50% back, and then focus on the next one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and don't chase the tools.
Don't change
Oh,
the tools.
I remember, Gunjan, when you said me, don't chase the tools because it's so fancy to look at, but you end up in paying for all the subscriptions and hardly using anything. So today's takeaway with Gunjan, this was really great chatting with you. But as Gunjan said, in all his conversation, focus on your problem, break down the problem, then find out what AI can do, start small, optimize from that, and scale from that. And that's what he has been doing with AI employees. Start small, start scaling from there, and you'll grow. Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much.
Gunjan, I know that you have AI employee as in business, but what is AI employee? Like it feels so inquisitive in me, like AI and employee. It's very funny, but it's very curious thing to know. Please explain me a little bit about it.
Okay, there are AI agents. AI agents are, made for particular tasks. So for example, if I'm gonna make an AI agent for receptionist, she's an voice receptionist, which is AI receptionist. Now, I want you to think about it like this. You can go to any job board. In Australia, we have seek.com, right? So you go to a seek.com job board. You look at a job that can be done using a computer. It doesn't involve you getting on your hands and feet. Now, when you look at a job, you will be able to look at something which is, what is the job responsibilities? And in responsibilities, you will be able to break it down saying, what are the tasks this person needs to do? And then you have things where, okay, what are the subtasks of these tasks that needs to be achieved for this job? So what you do is you create agent or an army of AI agent that can do one or multiple of these tasks. So one agent can be a receptionist, another agent can be someone who actually just looks at your email. Third agent could be something that works on your CRM. And an army of this AI agent is an AI employee.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's a great way of explaining. I'm like literally great way. A army of AI agents is AI employee. Wow. And how long when did this thought of having AI employee came to you?
About 2022, because I think there's a limit on what can be done with AI, like with an AI agent. AI agent is there to solve one problem. But if, for example, if you're hiring a human, a receptionist, she's a human, she's not just gonna be receptionist, this receptionist also responds to email. She's also helping the property manager once in a while. So AI can't be limited just to doing the answering calls. Like as we get one AI agent, we probably gonna start adding multiple AI agents, and these AI agents it becomes a group.
Yeah.
The AI agents will start talking to each other. They'll start handing work to each other, and that's basically an AI employee in action.
Yeah, wow. A school of AI agents. Gunjan, since we are always talking about AI, and for us, like a normal human being, AI is open platform. So how does any business can implement? How secure is it? How do you secure the AI thingy that we are giving to AI or the information that is there?
AI is as secure as you make it to be. AI is as secure as the computer you have that's connected. It depends on what sort of railguard you're putting. For example, if you're uploading your company information on ChatGPT, like an Excel sheet on Open ChatGPT, not very secure because that gets used. But if you're working with sensitive data, then you need to start creating your own AI systems and guardrail them from outside world.
Oh.
Because it's AI is really just like any operating system. You need to sort of host it yourself if you're working with sensitive data. And there are open source AI systems now, Llama, Grok, that you can sort of install on a computer. They're gonna be slow, and they require horsepower, but a lot of times you need to sort of create the guardrails first before you put the data in. If you have multiple levels of user, you need to sort of make sure that AI understands that there are multiple level of users. Like if an employee in your company has access to your AI agent, and AI agent is not sure what level of this employee is, an employee can ask like, what is the salary of my CEO? And if your AI system has access to the salary sheet, you will tell the employee.
True.
So when you're implementing AI, you need to sort of think about the security ahead of AI
Yep.
and implement it.
Yep. What is security in AI? I asked you the question, yes, how to make that secure, but what's security in AI?
One of the security in AI is what is the access you're giving to AI. Like what sort of system are you opening up AI to? So for example, we avoid giving access to, say for example, anything to do with money. Of course, looking at invoicing and processing codes they're not dealing with money, they're just looking at numbers. But you need to understand what sort of access this system has. At the same time, what sort of authority that this AI system has. So we always implement something called human in the loop. So AI is like an intern that does the job and then comes back to you to verify if the job is done correctly. So you are the authority to either approve, disapprove, or change.
Oh wow. Yeah. Now since you're talking, I just thought as a mother, like childcare and all, if they use open AI, not open AI, unsecured AI, our kids' data and privacy would be there for everybody to use. Right?
Absolutely.
Like-
It's not very different than Facebook. Like if we are putting our children's picture on Facebook,
But pictures are different. Like, you have so many other data in what are they eating, what are they allergic to, when did they fall down, when did they sleep. These are all patterns of a child, right? Why I'm saying, because once these data become out, it is so easy for anyone to impersonate as a child and to be that child and behave, right? These are the behavioral patterns. My God, I got scared of.
it is scary. It is scary, and this is probably where you need to keep the authority to make decision with you and not give it to AI. There are things that AI can take decisions on, which are semi-autonomous, but the critical decisions still need to come back to a human to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. Can you approve this or not? Is this good enough for me to go ahead?
So this comes back to AI education. There is so many things that general people need to be educated also about AI, right? The use of AI, the overuse of AI, the securities in AI. All. So I know that you educate a lot. I have spoken to you so many times. So do you think that in Australia today, the education or educating about AI is less and hype about AI is more? And if yes, how do we bridge that gap? Like, people being educated about how and when and how to use it securely to the best optimization, and the hype that AI can do everything or AI is taking the job, this kind of hype is more, and the real education is low, and that's the gap which is widening as we are going through 2026.
I think that will happen naturally because as people in workforce and education start using AI, it sort of becomes norm. It's like, having that restaurant effect where like I want to have what they're having, because it's
Yes.
once you see somebody else using AI at your work, or in the education or whatever you're doing, it becomes easier for you to see why they're using it. There's an open communication in schools about AI, and I think we doing pretty well when it comes to AI, because even kids are being told about AI, they understand AI. My father, who's 67, 68, talks to ChatGPT
Wow.
to make, you know, to research about property. He's like, oh,
Oh,
what is the
great.
area? What are the cons of, investing in this area? And so it's actually, we've reached a pretty good spectrum, and a lot of this is thanks to the hype about AI, because if there was no hype about AI, people will not
Not.
start to learn about AI as well. So it's a good thing.
So, one common question, very easily everybody wants to know, is ChatGPT, Flexibility, Claude. We have so many of them, Gemini. So, what do you as use it mostly, and how do somebody know which one is best for general people, not like business, general people for general things?
Doesn't matter. Um, for the amount of work and the amount of intelligence that a normal person needs, they can use any of them. But if you want to be, say, for example, doing more academic work and have some academic, Claude is good. ChatGPT is the most popular ones. But see, for the questions that a general people ask, it doesn't really matter, what level of. It's like talking about, we have one 1 gigabyte internet link, but you probably only using 5 MBs. So most of the Chat GPT and all the other systems, Claude, Gemini, they're good for whatever you want to do, like the basic question and answer. So it wouldn't really matter unless you need to start putting them in work, or use in academics. Then you sort of have to slice and dice and say, okay, Claude is good at this, Gemini is good at this. Gemini is amazing in a lot of sense, because it's part of the ecosystem of Google.
Yes.
It's got YouTube, it's got Google search, and it has the power of Google when it comes to searching and everything. So
I do feel that too.
so it's very different than using Chat GPT for a few stuff. But as I said, for a normal human being, it wouldn't make much difference. Like if you just want to AI to write your email, use any of them. Doesn't really make a
Yep.
difference.